Sometimes it does it by itself. I don't know what's wrong with that. Hang on.
He purchased an abandoned storage unit, and inside was what ended up being the most preserved, pristine, vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection I've ever personally seen.
Ooh.
So, where do you stay now? Are you wanting to sell everything right now?
Froggy flips.
Hey, good morning.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Good to meet you. JJ.
Cool, nice to meet you, man. Anthony.
Nice to meet you.
It was a storage unit, that's why I asked.
That's impressive.
Dude, it's definitely pretty crazy.
He found
In a storage unit.
For 3 decades, man.
Really?
Ninja Turtle collection.
The dude legit bought it like in the early 90s.
Storage unit.
Threw all of his stuff in there, most of it like brand new sealed, and then just shut the door and dust accumulated on it for 3 decades.
That's crazy.
Longer than I've been alive. So
like you don't know like the history, like
I know it's
why he
like,
stopped paying on it, or just
he passed away.
Oh, passed away. Okay.
And then his family was paying on it for about a year, and then it just got too much, too expensive.
Wow.
It was just, it took me 3 days to clean and this is like the remnants, and moving from California, but yeah, that's all the boxes. So
so this was in California, and you moved here?
no, that's all my stuff. Like, I just moved out to Indy from California.
Gotcha.
Don't become thicker.
That's crazy. So like it was just like a unit that you bid on, just randomly.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Just liked it because it was super dusty and looked like it had some intrigue, which it definitely did.
It did.
So
And a lot of this stuff's in great shape.
Yeah.
I mean, I got some unpunched
my
ones.
grandmother had a shave her mustache.
Some of the cards aren't so great because they were stored kind of weird.
Right.
And what made
Well,
it
boxes are in great shape.
Yeah.
Me and mustache.
That was probably the thing that he stored the best.
That's cool. And so most of the stuff's never been open, has it?
Nope.
Still sealed.
Nothing has been opened. It's all completely sealed.
Either life
That's
or
like-
you got told in your life.
That's crazy. I love all the random stuff too. Like
Yeah,
it's not action
figured
figures.
you would. You're like an aficionado on this type of stuff, so I left it out. Like, I don't know if it was completely your deal, but it is like steel, like from the early 90s.
A lot of times that's what I like more. It's like the random weird stuff, like the rack toys and everything.
Yeah.
Like the knockoffs, like this right here.
Yeah, I figured you would. My wife was like, "How is that not like blatant copyright?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. It was the
They got away with
the
it.
Wild West.
It was the Wild West of toys, yep. Are some of these 8-backs even? Or not 8-backs, 10-backs? Yeah, they are.
I've been the first one because
I think all of the original 4 right there, they're all
I may have been the first one to know.
They're still all up
there.
Fucking.
See, that's a collection I've been working on. It's like a 10-back collection.
yeah, like I figured you collect for your own personal, so if I could help you accomplish anything in that regard, that'd be
that's awesome.
So I've been following your work for about a year or two, so
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah.
very knowledgeable, man. I found some like Kenner Star Wars and another like
Oh, really?
and another unit and some G1 Transformers. And
Oh, that's awesome.
I watched some of your videos and it helped me figure out what I had.
Transformers are so hard.
Yeah, it was difficult for me to put together. My dad's like an 80s kid, so he knew like what to like.
Yeah.
Come here.
What some of it was, but it wasn't really his deal. He was more of like a G.I. Joe Star Wars guy.
Yeah, I mean, if Transformers aren't in the boxes, then I have so much trouble.
It took me forever, so I just lotted it all up and sold it on eBay.
That's awesome.
Someone got a good deal.
He's waiting for you till you're done.
So, where do you stay now? Are you wanting to sell everything right now? I mean, like,
I'm up for whatever, man. Like
Okay.
whatever you're feeling. Like, I know it's definitely a lot. I know there is a good market for it, and obviously if there's going to be something that will help like complete some pieces in your
Right,
collection.
yeah. That's cool. So 2 tables worth. Would you have a number in mind?
Yeah, I'm somewhere between 335. It's
Okay.
It's about $6,000 worth of stuff.
Okay.
Just because it's all like completely.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's like
I saw the pictures and I didn't know if these were just like put back in boxes, but no, those are.
This thing alone here is like $700 to $800.
Yeah, I mean those are sealed boxes. Those are nice sealed boxes.
I know that's like kind of a new one for you. This it's like Comic-Con or like inventory.
Oh yeah, I know. This is like
kind of nuts, but I wanted to give you first crack, man. I really respect like what you do.
I appreciate that.
Rather than just some random person on eBay. No disrespect to them, but I mean, you definitely treasure this type of stuff. So.
I appreciate it, man. This is like, I might be shaking a little bit. I mean, if you do both tables for $3, I'd do it.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're comfortable there.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy enough. Yeah, I mean, like, this was the wild card for me because I saw the pictures. It could have just been boxes.
Yeah. Nope.
So
Everything is in there, man.
I didn't want to ask too many questions because that's part of the fun.
No, you're good, man.
Okay.
This is
Okay, cool. Easy enough, man. $3 grand.
I have a huge box if you wanna load everything in. Do you know anything about this? It's
James Bond Jr.
It's from the 90s. It's like really weird.
It's cool. It's not expensive.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm like, yeah, it's like a weird thing to collect. I wish you would have done Star Wars, but
Yeah, it's kind of neat. So, like, is this all eBay inventory then?
yeah, like I have Batman Returns.
That stuff's probably hot right now, isn't it?
It's getting there like
Yeah.
a little bit. It's not quite like super, but I feel like if someone held on to it for another
Yeah.
decade, it would reach that more
Yeah.
like vintage point. But I mean, these things are cool. They're like old James Bond.
Oh, those are really neat, yeah.
Yeah, just super cool stuff. Every single thing I opened was just like, man, this is so stinking cool.
That is cool.
This is like a large. I wish this was an adult size. That would have been cool.
They never are.
That's like a kid size.
Yeah.
I think I have like one more random like knockoff
Okay,
Turtle Rider in a bag somewhere. I'll get that to you.
awesome.
But yeah, man.
Cool. I'll count some money real quick.
Cool.
Did you get a really good deal, or was there lots of competition for it?
I got bid up a little bit,
Yeah.
but I was out the door with renting U-Hauls and dump runs for $1,000.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so this is like
So you're making money then, and
absolutely, man.
Okay,
And
good.
selling to you, that means a lot to me. So
cool, man. I appreciate that.
yeah,
That should be 3. Double count that before I start packing up.
thank you. Yep.
Good.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. All right. Let's see here.
I think that thing's super cool, and then this thing. I don't know if you ever had one of these. This thing is like.
I never had one, but they're
there's
cool.
no comps for that on eBay.
Yeah, I mean,
One sold like 5 or 6 years ago for like $200. So it's
1989. I've seen
You
these.
just never find stuff sealed like.
No, I mean, it's like $1.99 at like a thrift store, open, beat up,
Yeah.
and everything, but you
Yeah.
never see it like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, there's everything. Every box I opened, man, was just like it was just a time capsule of 30 years ago. Oh, and then here's that other turtle ride. This is the only thing that was
Okay.
open in the entire box.
That's funny. You just couldn't resist that
Yeah,
one.
just that one thing. I'm glad it was a knockoff thing and not a.
I can't believe the back is so blatant.
Yeah,
You know, like-
it's blatant like copyright.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
like
crazy.
usually like they're kind of blank, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
you know, like what are you gonna do to
It's
us?
like the exact same font. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's really funny. All right. I gotta ask real quick: is that Dracula Bank for sale, or is that a collection piece?
I just put it up last night, man. But I know you're a fan of this stuff. You're a fan of this.
Yeah, I know. It caught my eye immediately.
Yeah, it's
You have that on eBay right now?
yeah.
What are you asking on it?
250.
250.
Yeah.
You want to pull it off for 250 real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, deal. I love it. Thanks,
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. Take it easy. Bye. Bye. And we are back in the showroom. So I got a message from a really nice local guy named JJ. He purchased an abandoned storage unit, and inside was what ended up being the most preserved, pristine, vintage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection I've ever personally seen. He sent me some pictures and invited me to come take a look. Even with the pictures, I didn't quite know what I was walking into. I didn't know if the boxes were opened or damaged or beat up, or if they were empty even. As it turned out, not only was everything sealed, most of it is absolutely pristine. At that point, I did not want to pick and choose. My goal was just to buy everything. Now, it's always nice not to have to make the first offer, especially when I've done no research and I'm ill-equipped for the situation. But if I had been forced to make an offer, the number that kept popping into my head was $2,500. The fact that he had done all the research, he had gone through everything, and he was looking for between $3,000 and $3,500, I felt completely comfortable settling at $3,000. After getting everything back here and doing the research myself, I completely agree with JJ. I think the potential value is somewhere in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. And that's not considering the fact that some of these items appear to be in even better condition than the nicest sold example I could find. So before I give you a closer look at some of these beautiful examples, keep in mind some of it's going straight into my collection. I'll probably sell off some to recoup some of the investment. And honestly, there's a few things that appear to be so hard to come by in this condition, they would probably make excellent candidates for grading. So with all that being said, let's take a closer look. So I have everything spread across 2 tables here, and I'm pretty sure that all of this stuff is from between 1988 and 1991, which is probably my favorite TMNT era. We'll start here with some of the figures. We actually have all 4 turtles on the original 10-back cards. That's the card that has all the original figures on it. Unfortunately, they're not the fan club version, but that's okay because this is my main focus when it comes to turtle collecting. I'm trying to build a complete carded 10-back set. These are all unpunched as well, which is very nice. I do already have a very nice carded 10-back Raphael, but I was instantly able to add Donatello, Leonardo, and Michelangelo. These bubbles need cleaned up a little bit, but the cards are all very nice, and like I said, unpunched, which is always a plus. Any one of the turtles on a nice unpunched 10-back card is probably going to run you somewhere between like $180 and $300. So I instantly added 3 to the collection. So that was definitely an added bonus for this deal. Here we have another 10-back Donatello. This one actually has the pop-up display inside, which offers a little bit of extra rarity. Kind of breaks off into a whole nother realm of collecting. You see these a lot less than the other versions. If you turn this one over, it actually does have the fan club info. I've seen some of these pop-ups that do, some of them that don't. Not really sure how that plays in, but just thought I'd mention it. Regardless, a nice pop-up display Donatello seems to run about $180 to $200. Got a bunch of other figures that kind of range in value, range in condition. Some of these oversized cards, like with the head-dropping turtles and the wacky action figures, they tend to curl up over time, but the bubbles all look really nice on these. I think the best one might be the Mouser here. Card's a little beat up, but the bubble's nice. All in all, I think most of these should range in value somewhere between like $50 and $100. We do have the 1989 Raphael Suction Cup plush new with tags. I have found these lots of times in the past, never new with tags though. I love a good knockoff like the Fighting Action Turtles here. Definitely makes you wonder how they got away with it. Got a bunch of these Henry Gordy rack toys. We have the Karate Punch target game, the binocular set, the flying props, the water gun, the pop pistol target game. I'm a big fan of vintage rack toys because they're kind of outside of the main action figure line, but they're still licensed, so it's just not something that you see quite as often. And nobody did it quite as well as Gordy. And then here's where we come into some of the crazier stuff. Some of this even surprised me. Like, who would have thought a 35-year-old box of cereal, still sealed, could be worth around $80 or so? Or that an unopened coin bank full of cookies from 1990 could bring in around $50. We have this really nice Leonardo ball and target set that comps out around $100. A carded Michelangelo watch that comps out at around $75. This one's really cool. It's a Tyco 3D Viewmaster, completely sealed, with sold examples of around $150. A sealed box of color forms, a sealed box of Valentines, a really awesome wallet that I may just switch out my Mario wallet for. Got this super colorful new old stock bandana, straight from a Woolworths back in 1990. A pack of sneaker snappers, a calculator, some magnets, pencils. A pretty hard to find sealed handheld game with sold examples from $200 to $400. I mean, this thing was $17.97 at Kmart in 1989, so that was always kind of expensive. This is a Helm Toy Shooting Gallery. Not hard to find at all, but it's very tricky to find one in sealed condition. This one still has the tape. It's never been opened. You're definitely not going to find that every day. A really nice, new with tags, single-stitch youth large t-shirt. I did find a larger size that recently sold for like $125 with this exact same graphic. But like I said, this is a kid's shirt. And then lastly, that brings us to the real bulk of the deal. The pristine, sealed vehicles and play sets. Nobody did vehicle boxes better than TMNT back in the late 80s and early 90s. The colors and graphics are just wonderful, and you'd be hard-pressed to find better examples than most of these here. I would say the only exception is this Sewer Party Tube. The box has definitely been crushed on this one, still sealed, but the box has been crushed. Everything else is probably about as close to case fresh as you can imagine. If you take the Psycho Cycle, for example, turn it to the side, there is no color rub, no wear along the edges. That is just not something you see. Tape is completely sealed on both sides. I try not to oversell stuff because condition is definitely subjective, but these are certainly for someone wanting the best. And like I said earlier, some of this stuff is not going anywhere for the time being. But just quickly going down the line, let me rapid fire some of these comps at you. We have the TMNT Flush-O-Matic. Probably the single most valuable thing in the entire lot, in this condition especially, would be the sewer sub from the Mutant Military. Again, look on the edges. Just beautiful. We have a very nice foot ski. We have the Mutations Mutate and Raphael. We have the Sewer Army tube, luckily in much nicer condition than the Party tube. We have the Uzi, the 1989 Turtle Cycle. We have the Ninja Noose Cycle, the double-barreled plunger gun, the Sewer Seltzer Cannon, and then my two favorite pieces, mostly because you just don't see them in this condition. We have Don's Telephone Line Rider Backpack. Not an expensive piece whatsoever to find it loose. I think it's pretty easy to find a loose complete version for less than $20. But if you want one in pristine sealed condition, it's probably going to take you a while to find it, and it's probably going to run you close to $300. And lastly, we have the 1991 Turtle Communicator. This one, unlike the Line Rider Backpack, to find one that's nice, clean, complete, working, it still can be kind of expensive. But to find one in a sealed, pristine box, certainly not something that happens every day. That is all I got for you this time. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching the video, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Love ya. Bye.